Find out how the city of Denton is helping vaccinate its homeless population later in the show.
A viral hand gesture has saved a young life. We've got the details. After 2 long years, one traveler is being reunited with his family.
I'm visiting family and friends here in New York. That's it, no longer on a screen. It's going to be hugs, it's going to be in person, catching up, a lot of stories to tell.
Broadcasting live from the University of North Texas, this is ntTV Nightly News.
Thanks for joining us on ntTV Nightly News. I'm Jessica Jalal.
And I'm Victor Villagran. The first lawsuit has been filed against Travis Scott after a tragedy left 8 dead and 11 injured Friday night. CNN's Chris Wynn has more.
In Houston, Astroworld Festival goers describe the moments leading up to a crowd surge that left at least 8 people dead and dozens more hurt.
You couldn't control where you were going.
The crowd of 50,000 packed tightly in places as headliner Travis Scott began his set, with many crushed and trampled over as waves of people moved toward the stage.
My focus right now, and the focus of others in this city, to make sure that the families of those who have lost loved ones, that their needs are being met.
Officials say Scott continued to play for about 30 minutes after the concert was declared a mass casualty event, and they're investigating what he knew and when. In a statement, Scott said he stopped his show, quote, anytime he realized a problem. A lawsuit has now been filed against the rapper, the companies that organized the event, and others claiming they put profits over safety. CNN has reached out to Scott for comment.
If the crowd is in distress and that can be identified by an experienced spotter, that needs to be communicated, and you've only got minutes then to save lives.
In a statement, Live Nation said in part, heartbroken for those lost and impacted at Astroworld. We will continue working to provide as much information and assistance as possible to the local authorities as they investigate the situation. The criminal investigation into the deadly crowd surge could take weeks as concert goers process the trauma.
Now that I'm recollecting, just the fact that I was breathing the same air that some people took their last breaths is just not even real.
In the wake of this tragedy, Travis Scott has released a statement saying he will cover funeral costs for all the victims. Scott has partnered with online therapy site BetterHelp to provide therapy to everyone affected by the event. The rapper has also promised to refund everyone's ticket and has canceled his next concert.
Homecoming is right around the corner, and I'm already feeling the school spirit.
That's right. I love school spirit, but there are some students who are taking this opportunity to give back. Patrice Dorr is live with more at the Union Ballroom.
Thanks, guys. Well, not only is homecoming a time to show your school spirit, but it's also a time to give back. Today in the UNT Union Ballrooms, students gather to package meals for the people of Honduras. I'm here with Maria Lawson, who's the student director for the homecoming crew. Can you tell me more about the event?
Yes, so the event that we've had today is called Rise Against Hunger, and it's where students got to come and sign up for a shift to come package meals. And how it worked is they had a 15-minute training where they go in, watch a video, get their hairnet and gloves, and then they head into the main ballroom where they were packaging food. So what they did was they would scoop rice, soy, and vegetables into a bag, and they would weigh it, seal it, make sure it's all good to go, and then box it up. And then it'll be sent over to Honduras or 78 of the other countries that we work with.
So if you missed out and still want the chance to give back, don't worry. UNT is hosting a toy making event for our favorite friends, those in the Denton Animal Shelter. This event will be held from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. in the Union Room 314. So before you give your all at the game this Saturday, make sure to give back. That's all I have for you. Back to you at the desk.
Victor, as soon as I bundle up for the cold weather, I'm sweating again by the middle of the day.
Me too, Jessica. I wonder if it's going to get any colder this week. Let's check in with our weather anchor, Andrew, to find out more. Andrew?
Thanks, guys. I'm standing here at Union Circle where the sun went down a little bit sooner than usual. That's because of Fallback Sunday that went into effect yesterday, seemingly taking the cold weather with it. Here's what I mean. Current conditions over UNT are 68 degrees with weather that feels a little bit like 65. We have a 9-mile-an-hour wind speed with clear skies that will increase with clouds come later tonight, which leads me to some good news because we have 60-degree temperatures come tonight. With a small variation, it'll feel like 58 a little bit later, with a wind speed of 10 to 20 miles an hour. Now, don't get too excited because come tomorrow, we'll be right back in mid to late 70-degree temperatures with a pleasant sunny sky. But is that hot weather here to stay? I'll tell y'all later in the broadcast. Back to you at the desk.
UNT kicked off this year's homecoming by getting funky at their annual homecoming picnic at the Library Mall. The picnic featured dancing, samples from the energy drink company Reign, and Domino's stopped by to provide snacks and hand out flyers for jobs. Free food was also provided by Dining Services, which featured hamburgers, chips, and Clark Bakery brownies. Dining Services estimated 2,700 swipes at the picnic.
UNT is bringing groovy back with this year's homecoming theme, Keep UNT Groovy.
And now students can participate even more with the new scavenger hunt. The hunt is called Find the Funk.
Students just have to download the app Scavify, log in with their UNT email, type Find the Funk in the search bar, and start hunting. This is a week-long event, and there are plenty of opportunities for prizes. First place is a pair of AirPod Pros, second place prize is a JBL Pill speaker, and third place is $50 of flex money. And don't forget, all participants will be entered into a drawing for one of 25 homecoming swag bags. Happy hunting!
Friends and family have been separated due to COVID, and soon they might be reunited.
And kids can now get vaccinated, and a Colorado zoo has a fun way of doing it.
Oh, hey, didn't see you there. Let's get started. This is a motor vehicle. This is the blinker mechanism. To use it, push it up for the right blinker and down to go left. You're welcome. It was easy.
With Thanksgiving right around the corner, I really feel the need to give back to the community.
I'm right there with you, Victor. Our reporter, Gabby Evans, is actually live at a homeless outreach center and has information on how you can help. Gabby?
Thanks, guys. I'm here at St. Andrew's Presbyterian Church, the home of Our Daily Bread, which is a homeless outreach center here in Denton. They're partnering with the Denton County Public Health Department to help provide Denton's homeless population with free COVID-19 vaccinations. Those experiencing homelessness that were interested in getting their vaccination had to make a 2-mile walk to the closest pharmacy. To help solve this problem, Our Daily Bread has opened up a clinic at their soup kitchen, and on their opening day, they successfully vaccinated 32 people. If you would like to help support their efforts, you can donate at ourdailybreaddenton.org/donate. That's all I have. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Gabriella. This move is yet another step to get vaccinations to people who want and need them. The national effort to get our country vaccinated is continuing. This weekend, the government announced that 70% of Americans are now fully vaccinated. And even better, more than 80% of Americans 18 and older have at least one dose. For those people over 65, a whopping 98% have been fully vaxxed, with a growing number now getting their booster shots. So with those kind of good-looking numbers for older Americans, how about the kiddos? Well, it's all about making the outcome fun, and the folks at the Denver Zoo did just that. It was vaccination day at the zoo over the weekend, and hundreds of kids rolled up their sleeves for the jab. Between visits with the animals and great weather, the kids were enthusiastic about the experience. The demand was so great at the zoo, the health department there gave out 1,000 doses and ran out before the day was even over.
If you have loved ones who live overseas, they'll soon be able to come for a visit. With the increased vaccination numbers, the U.S. is reopening for fully vaccinated international travelers today. This ends a travel ban that has been in place for over a year. Richard Quest, CNN, has more.
These are the routes that keep the global economy moving. For more than 18 months, they've been painfully quiet. Back at the start of the COVID pandemic, then President Donald Trump announced he was banning most travel into the United States. Few would have predicted that ban would last for most of 2021 as well. Most travellers, some from the United States' closest allies, barred from visiting. For loved ones, that means separated by borders, months of heartache. And for the airlines, it spelt financial disaster.
We keep outlining the economic impact of staying closed and the human impact. So there's a lot of people haven't been able to visit family in the US, they haven't been able to reunite. You know, both countries have huge amounts of foreign direct investment going both ways, and that's going to be impacted by this impasse.
As COVID levels ebbed and flowed and vaccinations began to be rolled out, the US position did not change, much to the frustration of European leaders. The travel ban seriously harms vital economic and human ties at a time when they're most needed, tweeted the EU ambassador in Washington. And Americans were able to travel overseas, with some restrictions like vaccination, testings or quarantines. I'm a UK citizen, so I could fly from New York to London on JetBlue's inaugural trip, and it was packed. The return journey, because I'm a green card holder, I could travel, not so. Because Brits, even those fully vaccinated, are not allowed into the United States, well, this plane, it's about a quarter full. All in all change on Monday. Vaccinated travellers finally able to visit the land of the free. Separated families, a moment to cherish. And for the global economy, a sign that things may be getting closer to normal. Richard Quest, CNN, New York.
The U.S.-Canada border will be reopening, allowing Canadians to once again cross the 55-mile-long border between the two countries. Canada opened up their borders for incoming Americans back in August, but the U.S. did not reciprocate at the time. Canada will be requiring its citizens to represent a negative COVID PCR test upon re-entry, which can cost up to $300 for Canadians. Politicians from both sides of the border are pushing for the Canadian government to drop the COVID PCR test requirement.
Our neighbors to the north aren't the only ones able to cross into the U.S. now. Lines of people were waiting to get into the states when the U.S.-Mexico border opened up in El Paso this morning. The average wait time was about 20 minutes for cars and 15 minutes for pedestrians. Students who were able to cross between countries to attend high school on the U.S. side of the border said they were anticipating the long lines. Non-essential travelers will be required to show proof of vaccination to Border Patrol in order to enter the U.S.
With UNT homecoming coming this weekend, I just really hope that weather's going to be nice.
I agree, Victor. I certainly wouldn't want it to rain and mess up my hair. Let's check in with Andy to see what this weekend's forecast will be. Andy?
Thanks, guys. You know, I too am worried about my hair, which is why I'm going to suggest you stay in later this week. But first, let's look across the state here. See, we don't really have anything surprising happening out here. You know, just slight variations across the Metroplex with a North Texas high in Stevensville of 73 and a North Texas low of 63 in Paris. Now, moving across the state, we have a few variations throughout, okay? So it's 65 in Oklahoma City, 68 in Denton, and then as we move towards the coast a little bit, 64 degrees in Shreveport, probably just because of that coastal high blowing in there. Now, moving across the state, into the 7-day forecast, my bad, you will see I have saved the best for last because we got some clouds on Tuesday, high of 75, low of 56, nothing real surprising, but it is that low temperature that will bring in a good 50% chance of storms on Wednesday with a high of 74, low of 52. and a cold front will then come in after that come Wednesday night or pre-dawn on Thursday, which will then bring our temperatures down to 66 degrees with a low of 44 on Thursday. But then come Friday, the sun will come back out, warming up the area for us. And then, come Monday, it's right back to business as usual. That's all with the weather. Back to y'all at the desk. A nonprofit cultural and community center has been open for many years, providing different resources to migrants in the city of Dallas. ntTV's Elizabeth Gonzalez has more.
Casa Guanajuato is a recreation center located at the heart of Oak Cliff, who has served for 27 years by opening up their doors to their community and immigrant families. Teresa Ortiz Alvarado, originally from Ocampo, Guanajuato, was one of the founders of this organization. Ortiz has not just received recognition for his work, but met with high-profile leaders, politicians from Mexico State, and Texas State activists who helped him reinforce projects for Casa Guanajuato.
The mission of this organization is to find ways to guide, advise, and inform, and most importantly, make the community feel at home.
Sports, culture, and education programs have been developed for children and adults. These inclusive activities were needed in the local community. Some of these programs include boxing, music, and primary and secondary education for adults, immigration counseling, and more. Those who work with Ortiz say beyond being the center's director, he also plays a role more similar to a mentor. He works closely with immigrants and helps guide them through their transition in the U.S. He even created his own radio station with the idea of transmitting motivation to the community.
This is a very good place to give and receive. If someone has a good talent, this is the place to share it. And if someone has an urgency or need of help, this is the best place to find guidance.
Up next, a teen was rescued thanks to a TikTok trend.
And did you know UNT has an esports team? More on why esports is gaining popularity.
UNT is more than 125 years in the making. To find new solutions, we create a new point of view. We know what's possible when creativity, originality, and independent thought converge. We're ranked a Tier 1 research university. We're home to excellence the size of Texas. Define your future at UNT and soar to new heights.
An abducted girl has been rescued, all thanks to TikTok.
Authorities in Kentucky say a viral hand gesture learned on TikTok helped lead to the rescue of an alleged abduction victim. Laurel County deputies say a 16-year-old North Carolina girl who had been taken across state lines was spotted in a vehicle by motorists on the highway.
There was some people behind her that noticed that she was making hand gestures that signifies for "I need help."
Authorities responded, stopping the vehicle and eventually reuniting the teen girl with her family. They say the hand gesture originated from a TikTok video that has since gone viral. One advocacy group is praising the use of social media to spread this universal language of emergency assistance.
As a society, we're paying attention. We're taking care of each other. So we can't do it if we don't speak the same language.
For Take a Look at This, I'm Jeremy Roth.
Last week in an exhibition match, the UNT men's basketball team fell to Arkansas 68-60. The team outscored the Razorbacks 32-28 in the second half. ntTV's Michelle Brooks had a chance to talk with returning senior J.J. Murray about how this young team is keeping focused.
I think we just kind of got to see, the new guys, what they can do, and they all bring something different, to our team. So figuring out, defining roles a little bit and people getting comfortable in their roles, is always good early on. And so we had a lot of film, and I would say the film session we had for that is something that we don't usually get until game 4 or 5 during our season. So for us to get that type of film session that early is pretty good.
Tomorrow marks the start of the NCAA basketball season, and the UNT men's basketball team will take on Oklahoma Christian right here in the Super Pit with just 5 returners. The Mean Green are looking to start off strong at home.
Speaking of basketball, I wonder how the Mavs did this weekend.
I caught some of the game, but I didn't catch the end. I do know our sports anchor Caleb Blanton will have the scoop. Caleb?
I've got all your Dallas Mavs updates and more after the break.
Oh, sorry, man. Oh, sorry.
Hey, listen to my flow to save some H2O. This my water rhyme, and this is how it goes. First, turn off the sink and take some time to think. When you waste water, our supply shrinks. When you take a shower, not more than an hour. Shoot for 10 minutes and save water power. Use a reusable bottle, smart like Aristotle. Ditch all the plastic and be a role model. And that was my H2O flow. Please remember how it goes, because if you don't, Earth will go, oh no!
Jordan knows he shouldn't eat this entire bowl of nachos, but tonight he's earned that right. Because a few hours ago in the middle of happy hour, he recognized a sign. Not from the gods or a bolt of lightning, but from a double heart, a kissy face, and a fourth ha in ha ha ha. That's when Jordan knew he was buzzed. So when it was time to go, he got a ride home instead of driving. Be a legend like Jordan. Recognize your buzzed warning signs and get a ride home. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
What a day tomorrow will be for North Texas basketball fans. The Mean Green women's basketball season is underway. North Texas will play their season opener game against the University of Science and Arts of Oklahoma. The game will be held at the Super Pit at 5:30 p.m. tomorrow night. Following the game is the men's basketball season opener against Oklahoma Christian. If either of these games is as exciting as the Mavericks' last game, fans will be in for a treat. The Dallas Mavericks played against the Boston Celtics Saturday. At one point, the Mavs led by 20 points. The Celtics did not give up and started a comeback to take the lead. The Mavs were able to tie the game, and Lucas shot a game-winning three with 3 defenders draped over him. Along with the exciting win, Dallas displayed their City Edition uniforms for the first time this year. While Dallas fans enjoyed the Mavs game, I don't think they had too much fun watching the Cowboys Sunday. Dallas lost their first game since week 1. This loss comes against the Denver Broncos, in which the Cowboys could not get anything going offensively. Over the first 3 quarters, Dallas scored 0 points. Dallas fans hope that this was just one of those days and that they can bounce back next week against the Falcons. While the NFL is still the most popular sport in America, a new sport is quickly gaining fans both on the world stage and right here at UNT. ntTV, Edward Brady has a story.
Esports. The idea of playing video games professionally may sound like a novelty, but over the past decade, they have gone from being a media laughingstock to drawing in millions of viewers.
Senior year, I got into League of Legends a bit and kind of continued that into college, and that's when I've really fully got invested into the professional League of Legends scene and competed on a team and competed in amateur So I'd say I kind of started a little bit in high school, but it wasn't really until college that I like fully dove into it.
I first started watching esports in 2013. Got into League of Legends from a friend, wanted to check out how you got good at the game. So I went to Twitch to see how the best players were playing the game with all the viewers. And I saw this guy named Medios playing. He had some funky hair and some glasses, so I wanted to see what he was all about. And next thing I know, I'm watching pro esports.
And I've seen it grow a lot. I mean, especially with like franchising, you have Call of Duty, Overwatch, League of Legends, all franchised now. Yeah, there's something to be said if you're like packing up stadiums in multiple different countries for different esports for the past couple of years, that it's grown quite a bit.
With viewership and financial investment only continuing to rise year after year, it is clear that the future of esports is a bright one. I'm Edward Brady, ntTV.
To learn more about esports right here at UNT, make sure to follow UNT Esports on Twitter. That's all I have for sports. Back to you, Victor.
Thanks, Caleb. Well, sometimes we come across video that is unusual or just plain interesting. We told you earlier in the newscast about the reopening of the United States to foreign travelers. This was the scene early this morning in London at one of the world's busiest airports, Heathrow. Two competing airlines joined forces in a showy display. British Airways and Virgin Atlantic were coordinated to take off at the same time on parallel runways. Both flights were headed for the same place, New York City. As you might expect, this was a one-of-a-kind takeoff, all to celebrate the reopening of international travel across the Atlantic. And Jessica, I think it's finally time to start planning that vacation.
I definitely don't want to go anywhere cold, but I am so ready to travel again. Thanks for watching ntTV Nightly News.
Join us again tomorrow here at 6 on North Texas Television.